Hello everyone, I'm making a bit of a habit of showing my face hole in my videos before they start. Hope you had a good new year, as I have said in the video anyway. This 2019 could be the year of the Master Chief, the year of my little green friend. What's that from? Little green friend. Revenge of the Sith.
My little green friend.
It could well be the year that we get a new Halo, Halo Infinite, and my nerd senses are tingling. Is that what tingling's like? And as such, as the huge Halo nerd that I am, look, it comes off and you put coffee in it. It's actually going to be for Christmas. It's amazing. So as the huge Halo nerd that I am, I'm very excited about this. And this is the first of many videos where I'm going to be talking about what I want to see from the game and what I think needs to happen in the game for it to be good and for people to love it. Just personally, I'm not an expert. I write things about film and I'm just a fanatic. You know, I don't know much about the process itself. And the only reason I'm doing this bit now is because I do feel as though, well, firstly I wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone. Isn't it great? But also I do feel as though maybe I cut myself off towards the end and I want to explain to people that this is kind of more of something that I do want to expand on, and it does feel as though I just kind of finished my thought towards the end of the video, having watched it back. But yeah, so enjoy the video. And I will say that for 2019, the general goal will be to sort of, I just want to polish things. With regards to the channel, I just want to polish everything and make everything feel more professional. And even when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I want to do a shout out special spectacular video. And so when I reach about 4,900, I'm going to be on the hunt for people to do shout outs for, and it will include people who have helped me, throughout my endeavor on YouTube. Speaking of which, I am working on a few things. For example, you may have noticed that my banner is slightly different. I'm also working on new intro stuff with Ben of Alan, Ben and Jam Play Minecraft fame.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh look, I spawned back at the base.
You're an ass.
And the Star Wars video that didn't record his audio. He's been hugely helpful. He's completely redrawn the logo, which I had just sort of mashed together in Photoshop, but he's drawn it on a magic pad thing, which sounds like a tampon. And he's redrawn that in a more HD way, which is fantastic. Yeah, so it's just generally this year is going to be about polishing the edges and making everything sort of pushing everything up quality-wise. So that'll be my 2019. But for now, I'm going to be talking about Halo to you, which is something I do about 17 times a day. So the people who are tortured by knowing me. So enjoy the video. If not, I've already got a few, so dislikes are inevitable. I'm not fussed, really. Have a great day. Sorry for the face. I'm gonna have a juice.
Hello there, I was just about to take a sip of coffee and then my countdown ended. Hello there, I'm Big Alias and Happy New Year to everyone. I mean, of course I wish you a Happy New Year. If I were to not wish you a Happy Year, I think that'd be slightly malicious. And, I don't even know what you've done. What could you have done? Did you kill somebody? In which case, unpleasant New Year to all of you. I want to talk about some stuff and I want to use my voice in order to speak with my voice and face. And I want to start this off by saying that, a couple of months back, I decided to invest and treat myself to, in Black Friday, to Xbox One X. My Xbox One was playing up and it just had a myriad of issues and it'll be available on eBay soon for £4,276. And I felt as though I needed to get a new one. I had to get a new Xbox One. And I thought, they're in the sale, they're cheap. Relatively, and I should really future-proof myself. I just got a 4K TV and I decided to twin that with an Xbox One X, and in doing so I found the best multiplayer gaming experience of all time. This is my new favorite multiplayer gaming experience of all time, and that is a game that is 11 years old and also 14 years old and 17 years old and I think it's 2009 as well, whatever that means, whatever math magic that is, and that's Halo Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One X in 4K. the Master Chief Collection in 4K, and this is going to sound like an advertisement. It really isn't. I've never sucked Bill Gates' cock more than 3 times. This is going to sound like an ad, but I really mean this. The best gaming experience I've ever had is Halo Master Chief Collection in 4K, because it takes what I consider to be the perfect gaming experience, the perfect multiplayer experience, the smooth, just no nonsense, nothing piled on top, no over complexity built on top of it, multiplayer experience. It's an arena and you find your guns and you shoot people with them, and it's fantastic. Putting that into 4K sort of brought it into a realm where it somehow got even better. It's now smoother, it's in 60 FPS, but like that clarity from 4K, and especially now that MCC means Master Chief Collection, of course, has been updated to the hilt and fixed, and it actually works now. We now have an experience which is phenomenal, and you can jump from Halo 1 to Halo 2 to Halo 3 to Halo 4. Now, why did I say that? Why did I open this video with that, other than flexing on the fact that I have an Xbox One X and I got 6 figures when I was only 4? Why did I mention that? Well, basically, this really ties in to what I'm trying to say, and I want to give myself a backbone in what I'm talking about and a foundation in what I'm talking about, and say that when I praise the original trilogy, or really rather Halo 2 and 3, from a multiplayer gameplay perspective, I'm not just doing that out of nostalgia. I'm not just doing that out of a love and consideration for the franchise and for what it used to be. I genuinely think that it's the best gaming experience, and I genuinely think that Halo 3 and 2 were the best multiplayer games of all time. And the reason for that is that, let's take 3 as 3 and 2, because 3 and 2 are quite similar. It's a game that has no sprint, no aim down sights, no perks, no kill streaks, nothing like that. It is what it is, and it's contained within itself. But at the same time, it leads to the smoothest, the most smooth and just slick, and it's just accessible and capable gameplay of all time. If you want some nuances and complexities, those happen within the gameplay, based on the gameplay that you're provided with, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And just the way that you approach Halo, what you can take out of Halo, what you can draw from it, is a gameplay experience that is just perfected. It is just, you just shoot people, and by stripping away those layers that we have now and just having a game with an arena, and the gun that you have is based on your knowledge of the map, where you know things are and how you know how to use those guns, and knowing which gun to use in which situation. All of that put together is just builds the perfect multiplayer gaming experience. Now, I want to talk about something else also to contextualize what I'm talking about, and that's a series of videos that I was watching where a guy talks about the death of like cartoon shows and stuff like that, you know, SpongeBob and Futurama, and one recurring theme that he talks about, and I know he spoke about this specifically in SpongeBob, and I'll credit him in the description or something like that, is this notion that once you have like something, a series, you know, something that is brilliant and innovative and bursts out of the seams, you know, it's just this new thing and this beautiful thing, and it's so well crafted. Over time, that's going to change hands, and over time, new people are going to get their hands on it. And when that happens, and when the team that made it flips and switches and you know, moves around so much, eventually you end up making something that is a mimicry, or maybe not a mimicry, but like a recreation of what had been previously made, whilst trying to bring out the things that people love about it and trying to present that to you in such an exaggerated way. Particularly in the example of SpongeBob, you know, he talks about how SpongeBob is just dumb and Patrick is even dumber, and then Squidward has to be like this, and you know, Mr. Krabs has to be this way. And I think that's something that definitely applies to gaming too. You know, I recently played Gears of War Judgment, and I thought it was okay, but it was nowhere near as good as the original franchise, because though they took that gameplay, which is fun, the characters weren't as goofy, weren't as over the top, that you didn't have the D-pad controlling which weapon you have, which made you feel like you were carrying an arsenal. It was Gears of War with other implementations from other things. You had to have several different characters and things like that. And I think you could say the same for Halo. The day that I think Halo died for me, or not died, but you know, just sort of fell off the rails for me, was with 4. The thing I hated about 4 was exactly what I love about with juxtapose. The thing I love about 4 juxtapose. The thing I hate about 4 juxtaposes exactly what I love about the original trilogy, which is that the original trilogy is Halo in the Halo universe, and it is what it is, and it borrows from nothing. It is exactly what it sets out to be and just ignores the rest of gaming. And I think that really what that helps to do is build a feeling of self-containment and a feeling of this is something special to you, and it should be. And I think obviously the books and the magazines and but the comics and stuff like that obviously built on the universe and made it something even stronger. But I do think that making something that you want to make is extremely important. And I think when 4 came along and gave people perks and kill streaks and people were sprinting around the map and it had to adhere to every other aspect from other games, that is when Halo just fell off for me. And I know that they retrieved it again a bit with 5, and once again, it does bring some of those modernalities to the game whilst, keeping some of the old stuff. But at the same time, it does feel as though that sort of that groundwork of Halo is sort of taken away to a certain extent. Do I think that 4 was bad? Kind of, not awful, but in the sense of Halo, yes. So to get on to my point, to talk about how I think they can improve it, I think that the bond between 343 and Microsoft, the collaborative team of 343 and Microsoft do one thing very badly. They do a lot of things well. I think the gameplay for 5 is great, and I think the guns feel great to shoot. I think visually it's beautiful and things like that, and they really have learned from 4. And they're good at learning, but I do think that there is one thing that they are not very good at, and that is knowing your audience. And I think this applies to other games too. A lot of gaming companies are falling into this, and I think it's been a big issue as of recent. Companies like Activision, companies like EA, and even like BioWare making Anthem, although they were probably pushed to it. I think that the message right now is, and DICE too, definitely DICE, by making a World War II shooter when everyone's asking for a modern shooter. I think that companies need to know their audience a little better, and I think it's crazy that we live in an age that's so ripe with communication. This is the information age. It's the age where everybody has something to say, and it just feels as though there's no two-way there. It's just a one-way communication and nothing's coming back. Even with Bungie today, Destiny 2 was not what people wanted Destiny 2 to be. It was an extension of Destiny 1, which is not what people wanted. And I think that knowing your audience is the key to making Halo. We are an audience of people who want something nostalgic and just something that feels a bit fresh, but also draws hugely on the initial franchise. And if they can capture what we want, we are not the new gaming audience. We are not the new blood. We're not the people who are asking for microtransaction battle royale. We're asking for something that feels like it used to. That's why people come to Halo now. That's why I'm drinking from a Master Chief coffee cup right now. That is what we love about Halo, drawing in from that universe and not trying to pull away from it, but at the same time delivering something that's slightly new, which I know is a very difficult endeavor, and I think the same thing is happening with Star Wars right now. But I do think, and this is a conversation I'll be talking about a lot more because I love Halo, but I'm going to continue on from this. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you at another time. Have a great 2019.